Welcome to Shorty's SuperCoach, and this is part one of a two-part series where Shorty takes a little trip down memory lane and just revisits some of the absolute howler decisions that I've made with some starting squads over the years. I got the teams up from, I think, whenever I started these, like sort of 2016, I think it was. Just had a look through those starting squads, and there were some shockers in there. I thought it'd be a bit of fun to relive them. We'll get to some of my better picks, but there's not as many as them, and it's a little bit more fun to talk about the shockers. And today I've got a few that I want to talk about. I'll touch on just a few, but the main one I want to mention, there's two absolute shockers, and today will feature one of them, and that was a fateful pre-season of 2017, where Shorty endorsed Christian Salem. Here's what I thought at the time.
There is an absolute element of risk, don't get me wrong, but I'm prepared to take that risk. I can see him averaging somewhere in the mid-90s, even if it's just 93 or 94. And that would only see his average increase about 14 or 15 points. It's not a massive ask for a bloke who's got all the talent in the world, has been around for a while, getting his body right, all the elements and all the traits of a bloke who is a breakout contender. I just personally feel it's all going to come together for Salem this season. The body's right, the head's right, he's got the talent, he's now going to get the opportunity to play through that midfield, and I think it could all click together. And bloody hell, I hope it does, because if it goes wrong for me, well, I'm falling on my sword pretty hard. Not many others will be, because he is unique.
Gee, I was up and about over young Christian Salem. I thought he was destined for some mid-time. I loved his left foot, and look, over the journey, he's actually averaged some okay numbers as a defender, but it didn't quite pan out on that occasion. I was talking mid-90s, I was cock-a-hoop about it, and it went absolutely pear-shaped and quickly. So this was 2018, my side, and the pre-season leading up. I might have filmed this in 2017, I think, but it was for the year 2018. He averaged 79.5 in 2017, and I was pretty keen on a boost in those points into the 90s. What actually happened? 82. And boy, did it hurt, because I really went with him. I really, on a couple of videos, player profile, ranking the defenders, I said, this is the guy. He's priced like 440. Get on board, 2% of sides. And gee, it bit me in the ass. And it started quickly. I got slapped on the face straight away. Boom, talked him up, then bang. Couple of short balls early. He scored 53 and 44 in the first 2 weeks. And I'm pretty confident, I didn't check this actually, but I'm pretty confident I traded him out. And in round 3, he actually scored 102. I remember being rather pissed off about that, but it didn't matter in the end. He was shitful anyway. He averaged 82 for the whole year. And it was just a shocker selection. Looking back at all the picks, I'll mention a few in a moment. But, these ones, they didn't work out for the best. But at the time, you could rationalise it. This one, I went out on a limb. And it was a genuine shocker. I'd love to hear your thoughts on, any terrible selections you've made that just stand out and still hurt you to this day. I'm going to run through a couple of numbers and a few other guys, and I'll do the same in my next video too. But Chad Wingard in the same year, he was a guy that I ran with in the forward line. Really thought he was going to continue an upward trend. He's averaged 93 in 2017, and he started with 110 round 1. I thought, you beauty, this is great. He's going to do exactly what I thought. He looked the goods. Then he followed it up with 49, 89, 52, and 45. If that's not a kick in the balls, I don't know what is. That was that. I remember thinking, what the hell? This is the bloke that's, the next superstar. He ended up averaging 88.6 for the year, but, I'm sure at some stage in that run of absolute shockers, I would have offloaded him. I remember, I'm pretty sure I was fairly faithful with him. My memory serves me correctly. I think I was stuck with him. It was that old debate of, do I get rid of him now and bite the bullet, or do I just back in this guy that he'll turn it around? I reckon I waited. I definitely saw that 52. I remember that. And I don't know. He didn't last too much longer, but the damage was done. His price had plummeted. I was offloading a bloke that I thought was a premium, scored shit, and then was worth nothing. So it doesn't get much worse than that. And 2017, and a lot of these are premiums that have gone bad. Salem was sort of your mid-price type, hurt a lot because he was unique, but these are all from 2017. And it's no wonder I had a howler of a start to 2017. I'll tell you that in a minute. But all in the midfield, these next three guys. Dan Hanbury, paid 616k for the bloke. Loved him, was all about him. Averaged 113 the year before. And then that was the year that the Swans lost like the first 6. And he started with 52 and 71. And it just was brutal. And, he didn't average that great for the whole year. I actually didn't write it down, but, he never really got it together. He had a run of tons. He actually was one of the Swans' better players as they started pretty slow, but then he actually slumped sort of during the middle stages of the year. He had like a few 70s in a row, and it just was a shocker. Tommy Rockliff paid 603k, averaged 123 in the first 8 rounds. I'm thinking, you beauty, great selection, Shorty, nice work. And I think he had a bit of a change in position. I feel like that was the year where, for whatever reason, he started playing a bit more forward. Anyway, that average early on in the year, that went way downhill. I picked him up, last year he averaged 111. This year he ended up going down to 96. So that hurt a lot. And Adam Treloar, again, same year. This is the same midfield. Paid 605k for him. Averaged 111 as well the year before, and that dropped to 101. First 7 rounds, he only averaged 95. So this is why I stress, we talk about breakout contenders, we talk about rookies, who's going to make you money, blah, blah, blah. The thing you can't get wrong is premiums. You just can't afford to pay that sort of money. And that's why, I sort of talk about some guys like, just Steele and Petrarca and a few fellas. It's not to say that they're going to have bad years, but it's not easy to nail these premiums. So pick the guys that have done it year on year. That's just crucial because you can't stuff up the premiums or it just kills you. 2017, I've started with those 3 mids. I've spent the best part of $2 million, and I don't reckon they were in my side by sort of round 8 or 9. Well, Rockliff would have been, but, shocking. So round 1, 2017, bloke's running a YouTube channel on his SuperCoach knowledge. I'm ranked 110,000 after round 1. I'm thinking, shit. Round 2, ranked 80,000 overall. Round 3, 68,000 overall. And I end up finishing 13,000th overall, but I was behind the 8 ball, and that's what it can do. You start with premiums that don't fire, and you'll start the year poorly. You'll be behind the pack. I mean, to make up 90-odd thousand or whatever it is rankings over the year is a reasonable effort. It's like losing the first 2 sets 6-1, 6-2. You win the next 2, but ultimately you lose the 5th 12-10 because you're just buggered. You start too far back, and it's just bloody difficult. So, tough year. And look, you might be looking at your side now, and you might go, gee, I hope this guy doesn't burn me. But hey, through pre-season, it all looks fantastic. It all looks great. We're crystal balling. We're thinking this can't go wrong. Surely not. He's a fantastic bloke. But it can go pear-shaped at times. So, bit of a lighter look at SuperCoach today. I'd love to see some of your absolute shockers that you've done over the years. That's a few of mine. I've got a few more on this list. I swear to God I know something about SuperCoach, but you wouldn't think so from this video or the next one. I'm not sure when I'll do the next one. Maybe in a week or so. We might sort of break them up. But, it's always good to reflect. And I'll have a couple more coming your way soon. So, thanks again. Cheers.